from Devin Booker. The Bucks win. And guys, don't look now, but we are all tied up at 2 games apiece in these NBA Finals. Broussard, what would you point to as the biggest reason the Bucks won Game 4?
Look, Jen, I mean, obviously there are a lot of factors in a game like this. You could point to the Suns' dominance, Milwaukee's dominance on the backboards, 17 offensive rebounds that got them 19 extra shots. You look at the box score, and it's like, how in the world they get 19 extra shots, 19 more shots than Phoenix had? That gave them a big edge in second chance points, 19-7.
There you go.
You can talk about, yeah, I mean, so you got that. And then you can talk about the turnovers. Phoenix with 17 turnovers led to a 24-5 advantage for the Bucks in points off turnover. So those are factors, but I'm going to simplify it. All right? 2 stars showed up for Milwaukee, and only 1 showed up for Phoenix. It's really as simple as that.
There you go.
We know Chris Middleton and Devin Booker were both great. But Booker's 2 other stars, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, combined for 16 points. And CP3, and, you know, we're going to talk about him later, but 5 turnovers. One of Chris Paul's claims to all-time great fame is that he rarely turns the ball over. And so for him to have 5, and we all saw the late turnover where he just kind of stumbled and lost the ball. And Drew Holiday's played great defense on him, but on that play, Chris just stumbled and lost the ball. It looked like a turnover of nerves or stress, you know, more so than just somebody great defense on that play. So that obviously, they didn't give Booker any help. On the other hand, we love the gaudy numbers of the 40-plus points for Giannis. But my goodness, last night, he played a tremendous game. 26, 14 boards, 8 assists. He was great. He made better decisions. He made 8 assists. He made better decisions on the floor than the point guard did. Whenever Giannis was on the perimeter and Phoenix had the wall, he made the right pass. Whenever he was inside and able to get the ball, he was able to capitalize and score inside. We know he had 3 steals as well, and then the 2 blocks, both of them in the last 3 minutes of the game, or last 3 minutes of the game.
Unbelievable.
And, of course, the huge one. So, yeah, Middleton got help. Middleton was huge, 10 points in the 4th down the stretch. But he got help from his stars, and then Booker didn't. Simple as that.
So, and also, it is true also that Booker, as great as he was, struggled late, and we can talk more about that later, but you covered the vast majority of it. I want to focus on Giannis for a moment. Before we show the sequences, just one other thing, Broussard, that Giannis did that I think smart. I think you got to take ego out of it. I know some people will criticize him for it, and I think in the second half, I heard Van Gundy say something about it. When he heard the whistle, I think he turned shots into passes to get a possession side out instead of free throws, which I know some people will criticize him for. I think it's smart. I think, like, he wasn't feeling it, and I know some people are like, oh, you can't be an all-time great. It is a more efficient. Milwaukee's offense in the half court last night was more efficient than Giannis going to the line. And so I think he heard the whistle. You saw it a few times, and he passes it off to the side instead of going to the line, which go ahead.
I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point if he intended to do that. But I thought there were a few times he looked frustrated, like, man, I should have shot it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he did that on purpose.
I thought it was intentional.
You're right. It ends up being better
not.
for him.
But I can tell you what definitely was on purpose. His commitment to staying consistent to who they are and who he is on both ends of the court, even if it doesn't mean scoring. So let's show the defensive sequence and then the offensive sequence. Because, Brandon, I think this speaks to the mindset he's in. Down 5, mid-4th quarter, this is a huge, every possession matters. This is just a free 2 points. Giannis sees it. He's playing hard defense before the possession even starts. All of a sudden, instead of it being 5, it's 3. And then obviously the block that I would argue there's not another player in the league that in that position can get to that position and make this play. He's right there. He reads it off Booker's hands, and then he goes and meets Ayton at the apex of his jump. But everyone's going to be talking about that. Here's two plays I don't know if anyone's going to be talking about. And I want you on the first one to keep your eye on Giannis. Drew misses this shot. It's a three-point game with 4 seconds left. Watch Giannis. It depends on how large your television is if you can see his face. He is frustrated. He kind of rolls his eyes like, you gotta be kidding me. This is to tie the game. 40 seconds later, almost the exact same scenario. Does he change making the right play? Nope. Perfect pass, trust my teammate, bang. Right there. So he stayed committed, Brandon, to playing what he would call Bucks basketball. I'm going to make the right play. I'm going to trust my teammates. And all of a sudden, Milwaukee has the lead. So I thought Giannis was brilliant last night, even though he didn't really have it going offensively. And I respect the fact that he stayed committed to playing how he's played all year in the highest leverage of moments.
Man, that's the way you're supposed to do it. That's the way you're supposed to play. You're absolutely right, Nick. But you got to add to it. There's something that we're not talking about, and that's him not pressing. All right? We're talking about a superstar on the biggest stage coming off of back-to-back games, 40-plus points, where people are starting talking about, well, did you know Michael Jordan did this? You could potentially end this series doing this if you continue on this streak. So guys typically come into games like that, like, I'm going to go get it done. I am the superstar. He deferred. He wasn't aggressive. He let Chris Middleton cook. So that's something that you need to highlight when you talk about when you talk about Giannis, because most superstars wouldn't do that. Like, yeah, he got 26 points, man, but it looked like he was just more focused on defense and, like what you just highlight, getting other guys involved. To me, you guys covered it. Wow, this is simple, right? Comes down to CP3. CP3, he no-show, he no-call. And that's one of the worst things you can do when you're on the team. Man, just give me a call, man. Tell me, say, hey, man, I ain't going to make it today. Just let me know. Give me a heads up. You no-show and you no-call. That is bad. That's what CP3 did. No impact offensively. The turnovers.